The story kicks off with the roar of an engine. A blazing red motorcycle tears through the streets, weaving between cars like a streak of fire. Wong Han, leaning forward with a confident grin as the wind whips past his face. Just as he leans into a turn, his pocket buzzes. He curses under his breath, yanks out the phone one-handed and presses it to his ear. He says casually, Wong Han speaking. On the other end, a woman's trembling voice cuts through the noise. "I'm expecting your child." Han nearly loses his grip on the handlebar. His eyes widen, then narrow. He scoffs, lips curling in disbelief. "Yeah, right. Try that scam on someone else." He hangs up, shoves the phone away, and shakes his head with a smirk. Some prankster. Without sparing the call another thought, he shifts gears and opens the throttle. His bike screams forward, slicing through traffic with perfect precision. Every lean, every swerve shows his skill. Cars honk, pedestrians gape, but Han doesn't miss a beat. Moments later, he screeches to a halt in front of the delivery shop. He runs a hand through his messy black hair and strolls inside, cool as ever. But something catches his ear. Whispers. Han asks, glancing at his co-worker, a chubby fellow who always has gossip ready. "What's that about?" The man leans in, eyes wide, saying, "You haven't heard? The Su family's daughter is marrying the son of the richest man in town. And get this," he waves his phone, saying, "her fiancé, ugly, real piece of work." Han frowns, but casually snatches the phone from him. The moment his eyes land on the girl's photo, his chest tightens. Her face, familiar, too familiar. His hand trembles slightly as the memory crashes in. That night, that hotel. Flashback, 1 month ago. The hallway smelled of expensive perfume and alcohol. A young woman staggered along, her hand clutching the wall. Her head spun, vision blurring. She whispered almost to herself, "What's happening to me? Did someone spike my drink?" She fumbled with the room numbers, mistaking one door for another. The door was ajar. Confused, she thought, "Did I forget to lock it?" She pushed inside. Meanwhile, Han sat slumped in a bed, a bottle half empty at his side. His sharp eyes dimmed with frustration. He muttered, "My aura's too strong. That's what they say. Too intense. So here I am, back to being a delivery driver." His self-loathing was interrupted when the door creaked open. A young woman stumbled in, collapsing onto his bed. Han froze, mouth falling open. She was breathtaking, even in her disheveled state. Her voice was weak, pleading. Who are you? Please, help me. I don't feel well." Han's heart pounded in his chest. His face flushed red as she inched closer, eyes clouded with desperation. She whispered again, "Help me." His fists clenched the bedsheet so tightly, his knuckles turned white. He thought, is this real or just a dream? The memory dissolves, leaving Han staring blankly at the phone screen. His co-worker waves a hand in front of him, saying, "Earth to Han. What's with that look? Don't tell me you're making up another story." The shop bursts into laughter, saying, "Yeah, right, Han. Next you'll say you're an arms dealer again, or that you're secretly a billionaire's kid." Han smirks, lights a cigarette, and blows smoke lazily into the air. He mutters, "You guys wouldn't understand." The chubby co-worker shakes his head, saying, "Your lies are getting more ridiculous by the day, man." But then, the sound of an engine turns every head. Outside, a gleaming red sports car pulls up, so polished it reflects the entire street. The delivery boy's jaws drop. The door opens. A slender leg in a high heel steps out, followed by the rest of her. And there she is, the Su family's heiress, radiant, fierce, beautiful enough to steal the air from everyone's lungs. The guys practically have hearts in their eyes, saying, "Holy crap, it's really her. What's she doing here?" Ignoring all of them, she strides straight toward Wong Han, her eyes locked on him like a hawk. The delivery boys gasp. She knows him?" He asks coolly. "What's up?" Her voice is sharp, unflinching. "Why didn't you answer my calls?" The place falls silent. Han tilts his head, smirking. "Oh, those calls? Didn't seem worth my time." Her eyes narrow. She crosses her arms, saying, "I'm expecting a child, Wong Han, and it's yours." The words crash like thunder. The co-workers erupt. "What? His baby? No way!" Han stiffens, his mask of calm cracking. He stares at her, eyes narrowing, inquiring, "Are you absolutely sure? You've got the right guy?" She steps closer, her gaze unwavering, saying, "Come with me to the hospital. Now. You'll see for yourself," his co-workers shout, half teasing, half panicked, saying, "Don't just stand there, man. Go." Han sighs, runs a hand through his hair, and mutters, "Cover for me with the manager." Then, without hesitation, he follows her to the car. The sports car peels out of the lot, engines roaring as the city blurs past. Inside, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Han leans back, crossing his arms, asking, "You really think I'll buy this? You'd make up something this serious?" Her hands grip the wheel, knuckles pale, saying, "You think I'd joke about this? About that night?" For a moment, silence. Then Han's voice drops, steady, serious. "If the child is mine, I'll take responsibility for both of you." Her eyes flick toward him, sharp with disbelief, inquiring, "On a delivery driver's salary? How exactly do you plan to do that?" Han smirks, gaze fixed out the window, saying, "An honest living is more than enough." She slams on the brakes. Han's forehead smacks the windshield. He groans, clutching his head. "Are you insane?" She turns, voice cold as ice. "You don't get it. This isn't just about you and me. This is the Sue family we're talking about." Minutes later, the car glides to a stop in front of a towering hospital. She steps out gracefully, not sparing him a glance. He follows, rubbing his forehead, muttering under his breath. Inside, the sterile scent of medicine hangs in the air. They walk in silence until they stop before a set of double doors. The sign above reads, "Surgery Room." Han blinks in confusion, inquiring, "Wait, why here? What are we doing in front of a surgery room?" Suki, the Sue family heiress, stood with her hand on the door, her face pale but resolved. She whispered, her voice trembling yet firm, "I'm going in." Wong Han froze, eyes widening in shock. He grabbed her arm, his grip desperate, his voice raw. "What? You're serious?" "You can't mean that. Tell me you're not going through with this." Her gaze flickered toward him, a mixture of sadness and defiance, saying, "You can't possibly support me or the child. Not with your life, not with your salary." Han clenched his fists, his voice ringing with stubborn fire. "Money's nothing to me. If it's mine, I'll take responsibility, no matter what it costs." Before he could say more, a nurse in pale scrubs appeared, clipboard in hand, saying, "Miss Suki, it's time. Please come in for the procedure." Han's heart hammered in his chest. He caught her shoulder, his eyes begging. "Wait, think about this, please." But she slipped from his grasp, her expression hardening. Without another word, she pushed open the doors and stepped inside, leaving him alone in the hallway. Han stood frozen, powerless, his hands trembling. He leaned against the wall, his jaw clenched so tightly it hurt. For once, he had no strength to change the course of things. Inside the operating room, Suki lay on the gurney, her silk dress exchanged for a cold, sterile gown. Her long lashes fluttered as she stared at the blinding white lights above. Her eyes shimmered with unspoken fear. A doctor approached with a syringe, his tone calm and professional. "Don't worry, Miss Sue. It'll all be over soon." Her lips parted, but no sound came. She swallowed hard, then forced herself to close her eyes, saying to herself, "This is what has to be done, right?" But just as the needle neared her arm, her hand shot up. She blurted, her voice cracking. A spark of determination lit her gaze. "Wait, just wait a moment." Outside, Han sat with his head bowed, chains of resignation wrapping around his heart, saying, "If she doesn't want the baby, I can't stop her." But then, the door swung open. Han lifted his head, eyes widening in disbelief. Suki stood there, pale but upright, her gown replaced once more by her clothes. He rushed forward, panic and relief colliding in his voice. "Suki, are you all right? How are you feeling?" She gave him a faint smile, though exhaustion tugged at her every movement. "I'm a little tired. Drive me home, Wong Han." In my car, Han's chest swelled with relief. He grinned, thumping his chest. "Drive? Ah, I can fly anything. Fighter jet, submarine, you name it. A car's nothing." Rolling her eyes but too tired to argue, she handed him the keys. The red sports car growled to life, and soon they were speeding through the glowing streets of the city. Neon lights reflected off the windshield as they entered an elegant neighborhood lined with towering mansions. Han's phone rang. He pressed it to his ear without hesitation. "Yeah? Who is this?" A cold voice crackled through the line. "There's an event, an important president. We'll follow your orders." Han's expression flickered, but he said nothing more and hung up. Moments later, they pulled up before a sprawling estate, its gates taller than most buildings. Han whistled under his breath, saying, "Well, we're here." He turned toward her and instantly noticed her lips were pale, her body swaying slightly. He said, "Suki, you don't look good. I'll walk you to the door." She shook her head firmly, saying, "No, my family can't see you. Just leave." But Han frowned, leaning closer. "You're weak. I'm not letting you stumble in there alone." She snapped back, her pride flaring, saying, "Stay out of my business." With that, she stepped out, her heels clicking sharply against the stone path. Han sighed, rubbing his temples, then raised a hand in a lazy wave, saying, "Fine, suit yourself." But as she walked away, fate played its cruel trick. Her heel twisted on a patch of uneven ground. She gasped, her body lurching forward. Han's eyes sharpened. In the blink of an eye, he dashed across the driveway, his body moving before his mind could. Just Just as she was about to hit the ground, strong arms caught her mid-fall. He muttered, holding her against his chest. Clumsy. Her cheeks flushed red, her eyes snapping up at him, inquiring, What did you just say? He smirked and said, You heard me, clumsy. Her grip tightened on his jacket, and she pinched his arm hard enough to make him wince. He said, Ah, that hurt, but he only chuckled, shifting his hold until he was carrying her princess style, saying, Guess I'll just carry you in. That pinch was way too strong anyway. She protested, squirming, but her words held no real force. Deep down, she allowed herself to lean against him. Inside the grand Sioux family mansion, the marble floors gleamed, chandeliers casting golden light across the vast hall. Han gently set her down on a velvet couch and knelt in front of her. He ordered, carefully taking her ankle in his hands. Stop moving. You'll make it worse. Her lips tightened in annoyance. I don't need your help. He shot her a grin without looking up, saying, And yet, here you are. Suddenly, the sharp rhythm of heels echoed through the hall. The door swung open. Two figures stepped inside. Suki and Han both froze. It was her mother, elegant, sharp-eyed, and her mother's closest friend. Their gazes locked on the scene before them. The delivery boy crouched before the Sioux family heiress, hands on her ankle. Her mother's voice thundered. Suki, what is going on here? Han scrambled to his feet, clearing his throat, saying, She twisted her ankle. I was just... But before he could finish, Suki cut him off, her tone flat, her face unreadable. He's my boyfriend. He came to help me. Han's jaw dropped. Inquiring boyfriend? Her mother's face turned crimson with outrage. She jabbed a finger at Han, her voice trembling with fury. What? This delivery boy? Tell me this is a joke. Suki's eyes hardened, but after a long silence, she sighed and said, It was just a joke. He only helped with my ankle. Her mother's voice cracked like a whip, saying, Don't forget, you're marrying into the Kun family. There is no room for mistakes. Han's eyes flashed. He demanded, his voice cutting through the air. What's wrong with being a delivery driver? Her mother sneered. You're a nobody. Keep dreaming if you think you'll ever be with my daughter. Han's fists clenched, his face burning with fury. But before he could explode, Suki shot him a warning look, saying, Thank you, Wong Han. Please, go now. He bit his lip, fighting back words, then turned and walked out. From the corner of the room, the mother's friend watched him leave, her eyes narrowing in curiosity. Later, in the quiet of Suki's bedroom, the friend closed the door behind her. She turned to Suki, arms folded, saying, You might fool your mother, but not me. I saw the way you looked at him. What's your relationship with that delivery driver? Suki's serious expression never wavered. She lowered her gaze, then spoke in a low voice. I'm pregnant, and the child is his. The friend gasped, covering her mouth, inquiring, You're serious? With him? But why? Suki's voice softened, laced with regret. I was drunk. It was an accident. But the truth remains. Her friend trembled, shaking her head, asking, What about the Kun family? What will you do? Suki looked out the window, her eyes glowing with quiet resolve, saying, I've already decided. I'm keeping this baby.